Hi, so here we are. I just woke up, so I'm a little sleepy looking. And I wanted to show you the progress of Jet's crow. This is the best. He wants to jump on the phone again. This is the best it's been. Climb up on my shoulder. This is the best his crow has been so far. So I'm just standing here cleaning his mess of a bathroom and had him on my shoulder and he started crowing. You gonna crow again? He's looking at Jack, who just came in to help me clean the bathroom. Jack's not much help. You gonna... So just a little quick video to show you the... And look, he's getting the little waddle underneath his chin. Yes, he is. He's getting a little, his rooster markings. See that red? That's the growth. That'll be the waddle underneath his chin. I don't know if that's officially, yeah. He loves, I put on nails and he thinks they're the most fantastic things ever. Fun, 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 fun. And he's also getting the nose bit. He's starting to look more and more like a rooster. Jack's licking the food dish. He looks more and more like a rooster, doesn't he? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And I do have a viewer who's afraid of birds, so I will be... Okay, he's getting a little big to get on top of my head, but he still thinks he needs to get on top of my head. But as I was saying, get on my shoulder, you crazy bird. As I was saying, I do have a viewer who's frightened of birds, and so that's why I'm giving a little trigger warning so that my viewer can fast forward and get past the obligatory bird. Let's see your face. Yeah, the obligatory bird videos, because we're all invested in Jet's growth and watching a rooster turn into a rooster. So it could be a little bit, educational, but as you can see, he's a bit of a brat and he's still learning manners. So it will take him time. Right now it's kind of worthless to teach him manners because he's still a baby, but I work on it a little bit. But he will learn manners as he grows up and he will be a very nice rooster. All right, on to the video. Hello, hi you. How are you doing? I've been thinking about you. Look at my pretty nails. I'll show you those in a minute. I just wanted to thank you for watching our little Jet grow up. I do have a viewer or two who has a bird phobia, so I'm putting the little trigger warning ahead of time so they can fast forward through the scary birdie videos. But isn't he getting big? He's getting big, and he is such a character. I just love him. We're sitting here in my cabin. It's a quiet night. Jack is over there chewing on a bone, so you can hear that. If he ever stops, you'll be able to hear the crickets in the background. I mean, that's pretty loud. That's just with some windows open. We are having another heat wave, so the crickets are out, and it's beautiful sound, of course. It's late at night, and you're here in my quiet cabin. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or shall I say, the frog! Look at my crappy nails. I haven't had nails for quite a long time. I can't have too flashy nails for work. This is really pushing it, but I just needed something on my hands. I do have, healing cuts and some autoimmune system issues that make some psoriasis, and my hands have just been really through the ringer. And I just wanted, as my grandmother says, lipstick on a pig. Just wanted something pretty on them. So what these are, yeah, I fell for an Instagram ad, but these are Glamnetics. I did do my research, and these are highly thought of. And so they're like, I got these on sale for $15, but they're like 20 bucks for one of these. So, but the nails can last up to 3 weeks. And so their glue is really good. Not necessarily the glue that comes with it. That's fine, but it's sort of like a weird applicator. So you can buy their brush on glue separate, and all the reviews said that's better application. So I bought the brush on glue. And then there's also, I'm a thrifty person and I want to be able to reuse these nails. They have this really highly reviewed nail remover, acetone based thing. You can also just use acetone, where you just put a little bit around the edges and then pop off your nails when you're ready to get rid of them. But it will dissolve the nail itself. So if you want them to be reusable, instead of using glue, you can use these adhesive tabs that they sell. But the reviews say they're a little difficult, but I did get those as well because I want to be able to reuse my nails. So I put them on with the adhesive tabs with a little tiny bit of glue around the edges. So we'll see if I can get these off when it's time to get off without ruining them. Because if I can get unlimited usages out of them, then I think it's really worth what the full price would be, $20. I think it'd be really worth it. But aren't they pretty? So yeah, they're gonna totally distract me because I want to do this. I want to do all the things now that I have nails. But we'll see if they last or not. Anyway, that's Glamnetics. Now, let me show you a wonderful, wonderful friend of mine and subscriber makes these. My friend Patty up in Lake Oswego, up near the Portland area, makes these. Look. Now, she gave me a whole bunch of them, but they're in the book, so you'll see them. She takes vintage children's books and cuts them up and makes these fantastic collaged bookmarks and then laminates them. Is that not brilliant? And so she found the book, The Little Red Hen, which I actually remember my grandmother having. And she cut it up and she made these fantastic bookmarks for me. Thank you, Patty. This is so amazing. I mean, they're beautiful. They're beautiful. I love them so much. So now I have a bunch of bookmarks for my books. It was such a thoughtful gift because I don't have the bookmarks and I'm constantly thumbing through my books, and these were really helpful. So you're going to see these every video. Love them. And now let's get on with what you came here for. Not fluffy dino videos, not my beautiful frog nails, but the completed pages for July 2025. And let's start with a cute one. All right, we're going to zoom you out a bit. Color by Numbers Animals. This is Jade Summer, and this is one that was a gift from Becky, my friend Becky, and I love this book. I mean, it's really wonderful. I started using a color chart. I don't know why I didn't continue. That would have been very helpful. And then blending practice, which is awesome. And then I just started with the very first one because I couldn't decide. Now, first off, let's look at this little red hen. Look at that. It's a Patty bookmark. Love it. Look, I just think it's so fun. Now, I didn't do the whole, like, this is the one that's on the cover. And I mean, that's not done with a regular medium. That's done with something online, I think. But I wanted to just straight color the first one to get used to the paper and such, because it is, you know, Amazon printed paper. I don't think there's any good way of blending alcohol markers on here because it does that. This is that paper that absorbs the alcohol markers and makes it kind of splotchy looking. So it's not a smooth application. But I might try the next one with water-based markers and see if that works better for where I could blend in darker and lighter shades of the same color and make it look more stained glass. But I really enjoyed this, and I think the colors are beautiful. I know they struggled with their first publication of this book, that their colors were all off, and they republished it, and now the colors are great. So I think I'll just go through this front to back. So my next one I'll work on will be this hummingbird. And I do these, I don't put them in my plans because I work on them in between stuff when I just need a little break from something bigger. So I'll be doing this next if anybody wants to do it with me. I can't guarantee, I don't know when it will be done. I just work on them a little by little, but gosh, it makes me want to start on it right now. I always do that when I go through these books. This is such an inviting book, and it's so fun. It reminds me a lot of the Disney vitro book that is stained glass. Some stained glass color by numbers are better than others, and I think this one and that Disney one is very, very good. I don't have the Disney one, so I'll practice those techniques here in this. I'm so excited. Anyway, so that was something I did in between everything else. I think I started it in June, actually. And that's Color by Numbers, Jade Summer. I'm going to go to something scary now. Actually, semi-scary. This is a series I do, Haunted Highrise, and we are on our 4th one coming up, I think. If you're interested, you can watch any of them in any order. They don't go in order. But there is a playlist on my YouTube channel, on this channel here, the Haunted Highrise playlist, and we solved these together. So this was our first one. Remember this one? And I won't give any of the answers to previous ones in this video because I want you to be able to watch the video and figure it out yourself. So what we do is we color the page while I have in fast motion. It'll be in double speed with my voiceover while we try to look through the clues of both the words that are written over here and what's in the page, and we try to solve the murder mystery, right? So this is the one we did in July, and I'm not going to give away the answer here, just in case you haven't seen it. But let me tell you, it's a toughie. We did have a couple of people get it right, and I asked for people not to put the answer in the comments either because that might ruin someone's fun. So just let me know if you got it or not. I did, and then I talked myself out of it and picked the wrong answer. So this one was tough, but we had a lot of fun with this one. This is Satan's Songbird. So that's what we did for Haunted Highrise in July. For August, which I should be starting on this in a week or so, we have this one. This is Danger for Dinner. So this is our next one. And I have to say, I have read through the mystery, and I don't know. We'll have to work on it together because I'm not sure. But I'm looking forward to that. So that'll be in about a week. We'll see Haunted Highrise come out, number 4. Now here's a scary one I did for a prompt. Now I'd give you the prompt, but the person who put together the group is taking an unknown length of a break. So it's not a thing anymore. But it was, she was doing phobias, and she was doing arachnophobia. And so we were to color something with a spider in it. And everybody was I picked the page and was working on it when people started submitting their pages, and they were all like the cute and cozy spiders. And I'm like, okay, here's something different. One thing is not like the other. Oh, and before we get to spooky, here's another one of those wonderful bookmarks. Cluck, cluck, said the hens. Love it. Yeah, I did this. So mine kind of stood out from everybody else's. Now this is that wonderful, tiny, tiny, tiny book, Beauty of Horror, Tricks and Treats. Alan Robert also has a Christmas one that's this size, teeny tiny, pocket size. And these were, I got both of them from Becky, my friend Becky Hicks. You all know and love her, and you have, but many of you have buddied with her. She sent me these, and I love them. I'm not, like I say, I'm not an Alan Robert fan. I don't have most of his books, but he has a couple out that I really love. And this, especially when they're smaller, I really love this one. I had so much fun. Most of it was a happy accident. In this, I knew how I wanted the spider to look. I wanted to look like it was glowing from inside her mouth. So I tried a variety of things. There are some watercolor pencils in here, as well as, and I think I was using the deco time that Becky also sent me. I think I used them for the entire page, wherever there's pencils, because I really wanted to give them a good use, and I love them. They are lesser pigmented than like an Albrecht Dürer, which is, you know, the top of the line. But because of that, I can get this sort of grungy look from them, where if I used an Albrecht Dürer, it would be very pretty. And I wanted splotchy. I wanted ugly. And so I did the spider first, and I have some pencil. I have them used wet and dry. And then the yellow is a Languo gel pen, one of the brighter neon ones in the dopamine set. And I just did yellow throughout her mouth, hoping to give that effect that her mouth is glowing. I hope it does. And also trying to show some differentiation between the spider and her mouth. Although something's weird in here, like maybe I should have drawn in more teeth, because this was all the teeth she had. And this was all kind of dark black. I don't know, something's off, but there it is. And then those Deco Time pencils. This is Rosa watercolor, this red. I love this blood red. Rosa has a really wonderful blood red, and I use it for most of my blood. But then I took this Deco Time and I was putting it in there, and I did it kind of lightly to start off, and then I used water, and it was this really splotchy gray it came out. And I was using either a darker gray or a black pencil, probably darker gray. And I was like, that rocks, seriously rocks for skin. So I did it everywhere. And then I added green here and there to give her sort of a green cast. And I absolutely love that whole splotchy. And then of course I got too close to the paint and the paint bled, and I like it. I like it all. It was just all an accident. It's very messy, very quick, and I think it works for this page. And then I used another Rosa watercolor red for here. And then my beloved, excuse my arm, Panda Fly white pens. Yes, the whole marking on the outside is coming off, but these are the best white pens out there. And they'll go over anything. They're thick. I mean, you can add dots anywhere. Boop, boop, boop. I mean, they're just super, super bright and really, really wonderful. So I love these. You can get them off Amazon. One of my viewers looked for them and found them really expensive. And I'm not sure why, because they should be like $6 for a pack of 5 or something. But anyway, I use that for the white, and I really love it. I love how it turned out. And I love this book. They're just the right bite-sized pages. So I'll be doing a lot more out of this. Now, this bleed through surprised me. This is the Languo gel pen bleeding through. I think I went over it and over it and over it, and it got it kind of wet, and then that's what happened. Strange. But, yeah, there's some really fun, and they're not, I mean, they're small, so they're easy to, they're pretty gory, some of them. They're small, so they're easy to tackle, and they're horrific, and they're just right up my alley. Look at that witch. She's fantastic. Remember this one when I flipped through it, and I was like, B. A B. What does the B stand for? And then I realized it's 13. I still look at it and see B first. Yeah. Spooky, creepy, typical Ellen Roberts style, but bite-sized, small. There's a Herbrus. But, so easy to tackle. So fun book. And the Christmas one is just as fun. You'll see some pages out of that soon. All right, let me show you what I did next. You know, I just realized I didn't tell you how many pages I did or go over the stats like I normally do at the beginning. So real quickly, I did 18 completed pages this month, which is pretty normal for me now. Out of those 7 were untouched books. 8 of those were buddies. 2 of those were color by numbers, and I did 1 sticker story. I created a new scrapbooky type thing with my sticker stories, and I added my first one to it. This month I only did 1 mythographic and no mythogorias, which is under what I want to do. I want to do 2 total a month, but I am at 21 for the year, and so we're averaging 3 a month, so that's great. That's really great. So I definitely, and I've got a couple of at least 2 mythographics and 1 mythogoria plan this month. So looking forward to doing those. So yes, did really good, did really well this month. And now let's talk about the next thing I did. Palette cleanser from the Spooky Stuff, Disney Tsum Tsum. Okay, you know I love this book, and I can't go a month without coloring it, it seems like. So I color in it all the time. And I've done several fun things in here. I have a bookmark so I wouldn't flip, but I did want to show you what I've done so far. Of course, these were my first two. The Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and this little compilation of a bunch of different characters. The backgrounds are what I love the most. The characters to me are just sort of extra. I did the Hello Kitty one with reflective black paint, which is why it's so shimmery shiny. And then this month I did, first let's look at ooh and ah over this. Is that not cute? I love these bookmarks so much. I did this one and I really had a great time with it. I did a few things different. So in the background, I did, these are markers. These are acrylic markers that I'm using. Some are Languos, some are Languo gel, some are Languo acrylics. I'm trying to work through my Languo acrylics because I have an earlier version and they're not very good. They're very transparent, not opaque at all. And so I'm just trying to use them up because I'd like to get the newer ones because they look better. And then I actually did him in acrylics again, but I decided to try some pencil on this paper. I have yet to do pencil, and I really like. And the pencil I used, was polychromos because I wanted to give this paper the best shot it could get. And I think the polychromos work really well. This is polychromos on top of acrylic, so it's a little odd there. But the polychromos, straight polychromos, now this is also acrylic involved with the polychromos. I tried to mix and match medias, but I thought the polychromos worked out really well, especially for a white character. And then of course there's some super golden markers in here, which gives it that shimmery silver. And I really, really enjoyed this one. So yeah, this book, I tell you, I love this book. I have a loose buddy that's working, a loose buddy. Okay, she's not loose, but the buddy's loose. We have no pages selected and no timelines, but we're both just working through this book and sharing pages and hopefully finishing this book someday. And I know I will because, I mean, this is my go-to book to just have fun in. Oh, I did that one too. Yeah, that was a couple months ago. I just have fun with acrylic, basically. Pens, acrylic pens, and just mindless fun coloring. I try to choose pens I don't normally use together, experiment with palettes, and just have a good time. So this is a really fun book. I love this book so much. So that's Disney Tsum Tsum. It's by Art of Coloring, and it's part of that whole Disney series they have. And I found this on a used site. Did I even write down where I've got it? Mercari. So you mostly can find this one used. I don't know if you can get on Amazon anymore or not, but it's not too hard to find used either. So anyway, that was my Disney Tsum Tsum, which you always will see again. Then I'm in a group that works out a mouse guard every month. When we do single pages, we give ourselves a month, but double, we give ourselves 2. So this was a 2-month endeavor. And let's look at our cute, ooh, look at it. What does this one say? The Little Red Hen. Is she not cute? And she's reading a book called The Egg and I. Oh, these bookmarks, I love them. So this month our group did this one, and you might have seen this on Instagram. There's quite a few folks in the group. It doesn't fit in totally to my picture, so we'll just sort of look at each page individually. This one, I love using gel crayons, either the Tim Holtz gel crayons or the King Art gel crayons, their gel sticks, or Faber-Castell's Gelatos. Those 3 I think are the top 3 in gel crayons. And then I think they kind of go downhill from those top 3. They're all very different, so you want to use them to see which ones you like best. The King Arts are less opaque but spread really well. I think the best of all 3 for my purposes is the Tim Holtz. They're very opaque and they spread well, but I used King Arts here because I really wanted to be able to blend it well. And when I want to blend well, King Arts works great because there's some transparency to those colors, and so they sort of blend into each other really well. So I used 3 different blues to get that water and was super pleased with it. And then I decided to switch to, well, this is King Art as well. There's some Languo gel pen in here for the pink, but the rest is all gel, and for the fur, but the rest is all gel sticks. It's very fast medium, and you can use your finger to blend, or you can use some sort of device to blend. I recently purchased, here it is, hold on. I recently purchased this thing, and this side is foam and this side is rubber and is washable. I have found with this rubber, one thing I like to do is make dots. It works really well for mixed media looking type stuff. I don't think I had them when I was doing this page, so I was using my finger and Q-tips and whatever I could find that was small enough. And I did the King Art gel sticks for everything, all the corals and stuff, until I got to the eel. And I have a color with me, or a coloring in the, come on, Candice. An evening coloring in the cabin video where I worked on this. And I used oil pastels, and I'm not as talented with those because I could not get the blend. It's splotchy. I couldn't get the blend I wanted. And I have several different kinds. So I did get a comment saying that I was using the Arteco, and those are difficult to blend, but I also think it's me. I don't blend any oil pastel well, even the fancy ones. So I'm just practicing with those, and I'm using them more and more to try to get better at them because I really think they're a fantastic medium. And I've seen people use them very well. I'm just not yet there. And then these white circles was that Panda fly. It doesn't come with this bauble, but I put it on there because it's my favorite pen that I own. It was this Panda fly, and you saw me do those circles in that video, and how that's one pass. It was so fast. It took me 5 minutes to do all these circles, if that. It's so fast and it's so bold, and it just sits on top of those gel mediums, and wow. So I was really, actually overall, very, very happy with this. I intentionally put brighter colors in certain spots to give it that whole dappled water look, and I think that worked. I originally had this piece of coral in a very much brighter yellow, but it very much is in the shape of a penis. And so when you looked at this, all you saw was penis, bright yellow penis. So I went over that with some brown, and it blends right in now. Don't see the penis coral anymore. We were having fun in the group calling it a banana weenie or a banana peony because it was bright yellow. The group is fun. And if you'd like to work through Mouse Guard with us, I know this is a hard book to find. And right now, I haven't seen a good priced copy of it used for a while. There's a couple on eBay, and they're marked like in the 400s, which is ridiculous. I got this one for 40. 40 or 50 is what you can find it, and it's one of its lowest I've ever seen, but it does pop up now and then. We just have to get those 400s off of the site so someone doesn't see that price tag and think they can get that. But once those fall off and there's none again for a while, you might see one pop up for $40 or so. But keep an eye out on the used sites because that's the only place you can find this. But if you've got it and it intimidates you, or you want some friends to work through it with you, hit me up and I can get you over to the host, and you can work on these things with us. I forgot what next month's page is, but I think it's another double. Oh no, I remember what it is. It's this one. It's the very next one. Is that not cray cray? Whoa. There's going to be a lot of gel mediums on this one too, because I'll just take a gel stick and go over that whole thing. Or watercolor. This paper can handle anything. Of course, it's double-sided, so unless you want to ruin the other page, you don't use alcohol markers. But everything else works well. Water-based markers are beautiful on this paper. I've used all kinds of paints, and everything works well on this paper. So it's pretty easy to color. It looks intimidating, but because of the shading, you don't have to do a lot of the shading yourself. And it makes for pretty easy coloring. So don't be frightened of this book. This actually has turned out to be one of my easy, restful colorings for the month, just because I've discovered how easy the pages are. I mean, you don't have to do very much to them because the shading's already in it. Look, there's so much I haven't done. I really love this book, and I look forward to this page every month. I haven't yet gotten tired of this book. But if I ever do, I'll just skip a month or two until I'm excited about it again. That's what I do. Oh, these two were both fun. This one in the group, oh my gosh, so many people did some beautiful treatments to this page. I kind of just straight colored it, mostly with paint. I use a lot of watercolor and gouache in this book. I think this is watercolor pencils. I mean, I've used everything in this book. But for these big spreads, the gel sticks are great. They just go on really fast. Yeah, so I'm really happy with this one. So that's this month's mouse guard. Okay, before we move along, I wanted to show you, I'm turning down a fan that I've got on. There we go, nice and quiet. I wanted to show you these panda flies. I recently went back and purchased this set, which is more whites, but it's also got a gold and a silver. So the whites are like, I mean, look how bright this is, and look how well it writes. I mean, it's just amazing. It's just solid white. Is it unbelievable? Turn my light down just a bit. It can do anything, and you only have to go over it once, and it writes so well. So these whites, and this is the bigger nib, so a smaller nib maybe won't flow as well, but this is the 1.0 millimeter nib. I love this nib. But in this pack, which I got for just, I think it was again $5, it has gold and silver. So let me show you. Now this is straight out of the pack. I haven't primed or anything these. They don't need it. This is the silver. Look at that. It's so shiny. And it's metallic. It comes out really metallic, which I like. Personally, I'm a metallic girl rather than a glitter girl. So I like anything that's metallic looking, and this certainly is. So you could definitely do metals with this. It's very metallic. It's hard to pick it up. What if I turn the light way down? Yeah. You can tell the difference between the white and the metal there. Is that not beautiful? I love it. Now look at the gold. These are my new gold and silvers go-to pens now. These have replaced Ohuhu and Languo and all the ones that I like so well. Straight out of the pack, look at that. If that's the gold tint you're looking for, this thing is so shiny. Let's color some of this moon in. And look how fast it colors with that 1 millimeter nib. Look at that. I don't want to waste a bunch of ink, but I have to do this to show you. Now you're going to get streaks because this is acrylic. This is pigment ink. But you can go over those streaks and kind of flatten them out a bit. Look at that. It's very juicy. This thin paper is actually warping a bit with it. Yeah. I love this gold, and I've been using it. It's a true gold. It's very gold. So probably yellower than some other golds, but just absolutely love it. So if you're looking for some really juicy pens that flow really well, these Panda Fly are great. You can get all different kinds of sets. This set has, I think, 3 whites, 3 silvers, and 3 golds. Yeah, 3 of each, and which is a great set to get if you're wanting the gold and the silver. If you don't care about the gold and the silver, then just get the set with just the white in it. It shouldn't be more than $5 or $6. I don't know why my friend could only find the like $30. That's a lot for just a few pens. But yeah, if you're only finding it for $30, make another one work because that's just too expensive. But I do love these pens. Now, let's get on with the rest of our books. Okay. So this may surprise you, but I have a Johanna Basford. I'm not a fan of Johanna Basford, not at all. I've had a couple of her books before. I've given them away. Her style's just not me. But this Magical Worlds one, which is funny because diehard Johanna Basford fans aren't crazy about this book because it is different. And I have found this to be the only one that I do like because it's more scenes. It's less just flowers. And it's got some of the little things, which are okay. And there's a wreath, which is okay. Now, this kind of wallpaper stuff I like to do. I like to get gel pens out and do this mindless stuff. But it's got actual animals in it and moods and emotions and scenes and stuff. A lot of fantasy stuff, different from her normal, interiors or flowers. This is great. I love this. And quite a few Johanna fans don't care for this one. And then there are the people like me who aren't Johanna fans who think this is spectacular. I mean, I would do almost every page in here. So I did my very first page. Look. And look. Cheap, cheap. I did this page. Now, of course, I did it spooky. Because why not? And I used a variety of things here. I did use... I'm wondering if I have my light on the wrong mode. Some of these make me look very tan and have very strange... Yeah, that one looks good for this page. Yeah. I used some pencil work in here. I really, truly did. I mean, so not only am I working out of Johanna Basford, I'm using pencils. Because I had a very specific look I wanted for this page. And it came out exactly the way I wanted it to. So I used Prismas in here because I knew I wanted it really bright and really dark and very defined. And I thought the Prismas would also smoosh easy and be faster. I did like them. I used polys elsewhere and liked them too. So polys I like better than Prismas. But I found they both work great on this paper. In fact, it's hard for me to tell where what is what. And then I also used Albrecht Dürer. So a lot of this is Albrecht Dürer and for the bigger areas like tree trunks and trees with polys on top. And of course I have some Language gel pen. This here is a metallic polychromos, which I don't use the metallics very much, but I kind of like what it did to that water. Super opaque and smooth and very, very shiny. So I thought it worked out really well. The Language gel pens are kind of here and there, not much, but mostly just like making tips a little bit yellower, just kind of adding a little bit more accent to things. And I really wanted it to look like a dark castle with the sun going down, sort of a magical world. So it turned out exactly the way I was thinking. Maybe the background, but I didn't want the background dark black because it's like sunset. And I also wanted it to look like we're looking into a different world than what's around here. This is a magical world in there. So I mismatched the backgrounds on purpose. Yeah, now I'm in a group that worked on this page. We're not working at the book together. It's just several of us wanted to do this page together. And one of my buddies called it moody. And I think that's a good term for it. It really is. It went fairly fast. I was surprised how fast this went and how much I enjoyed it. So let's look at my friends. Okay, so this is Color Me Gemma's, and I think hers is fantastic. It is super soft. I would almost say it could be considered moody as well. It is absolutely stunning, of course, because all of her work is. And I love the coral. If you notice in her trees, the birds and the flowers have that corally look, coral color. And so do the sort of water plants down by the pond. But up near the trees, there is that same coral color. I would have never thought to put the pink in the trees, that coral pink, but it is beautiful and it ties in the color. She also puts it in the bushes in the background. And I just think that particular shade of green, that particular shade of coral just goes so well together. It's a brilliant alternative to a pastel page. And it very, very much appeals to me. It's like a saturated pastel, and I really like it. I think the colors she chose were brilliant. Thank you, Jim, for doing this with me. And then this one here is Nessa's. Now, Nessa, my Loch Ness friend, Nessie, she did this fantastic purple treatment to it. And then she chose to make the pond like this molten gold looking. Like it was, and that the gold and those purples together are just fantastic, completely fantasy. She went completely non-traditional nature colors. And with the gray trees, and she just went by colors, putting colors together that worked. And I love it. It really, and then that blue castle with the gold accents, it really looks magical. And I just think it's so different from, all of these are radically different from one another. And it's just beautiful. What talent for putting colors together in this group. So thank you, Nessa, for doing this with me. And then we have Sabina. This is Bobini's. Sabina's is, again, radically different. She used nothing but Langvo gel pens, which I thought was brilliant. It gave this beautiful folk art looking flat color, which I adore. I often do pages in flat coloring, and I think they always look like they're, what would you say, illustrated, like a book illustration, like this belongs in a book somewhere. And they give a folk art look, kind of like a children's book illustrated look to them. And I love it. It's like, they're very nostalgic for me. Flat coloring is, it's almost like an upgraded children's coloring, which is brilliant in my mind. And the colors she chose to go together, like I wouldn't have chosen some of these colors to put together, but yet they're phenomenal. The pink and the peach right next to each other. That's great. It's just such the word purposeful choice. Like like this wasn't just like, let's pull pens out of the box. Like she purposely chose these colors that are rare to be put right next to each other. And then the purple pond. Is that not beautiful? And I absolutely love it. I think all three of my buddies just knocked this out of the park. And this was one of my favorite buddy colors this month. So thank you, ladies, for sharing this with me. And let's look at the next thing I did. All right. Now, this was a beautiful gift. I know this cover's super shiny, so it's hard to capture on camera, but this is Ann Stokes. She's an artist, of course, duh. And this is the fantasy collection. Now she has the fantasy collection and the mythical animals collection or something like that. And then she has another one that's out that I think could possibly be a compilation of the two. This is by Hinkler. So yes, I told someone recently that I thought they were different publishers, but they're not. And this is a huge book, very, very, very large, hard to get the pages in camera. And this book was a gift from Becky. She bought me both of this one and the mythical animals one. And oh, this paper is nice. It's not thick, but it's single-sided and it can handle anything. And it's typical. It might be a little thinner than Mythographic, and but I color them like Mythographic with alcohol markers and then other things on top and such. Oh, and I did a flip through when I got this massive amount of books from Becky, and aren't they just stunning? Oh, I really want to do another one, but I'd like to do it out of the other book since it's untouched still. But the one I did was a buddy color, and now my buddy hasn't finished hers. No big deal. She'll do it when she does it. And look, cluck, cluck, said the hands. And this is what I did. Now, whoopsie-doo. Okay, it's a big page. I saw this page and I was stuck. I didn't know where to even start. So my buddy suggested that I look at the actual painting of this. Ann Stokes' painting of it. So I did, and I got lots of inspiration from there. Now, mine looks nothing like hers, except she had a green background. and I was at green and black. So I thought, whoa, what fun would that be? So with this background, I used my Albrecht Dürer. No, did I? No, I used Tim Holtz gel crayons. And those are fun because they are water soluble. So I made sure that I did light green spots, then darker green, and then black around that. And I made sure not to go over the light green spot, so it looks kind of like light, right? Shiny, light, like actual light. And that was new to me. I'd never done that before. Loved it. This is a gel pens that are around the edges. Frame was there. I just used gel pens to fill it in. Then, of course, I knew I wanted these dragons to be coppery bronze colored. I wasn't sure if I wanted them to be shiny like this. So I sat on it for a couple days, and then I decided, yeah, it needs to be shiny. So this is a super golden marker, of course, the orange gold one. And then I decided that those would be my colors. Now, in the original, she has a lot of red in here. So I decided to go with more of a rust red to match this orange coppery thing. And so I just made that my colors. I used greens again in here, but these are this is Albrecht Dürer's with polychromos. So it's really, I made it really splotchy and fun. So it's also greens, but done differently than out here. So the treatment's different. And I really like that. I'm going to remember that next time. And then this is Albrecht Dürer's and polychromos. The dragon is, as is she. All of her is Albrecht Dürer and polychromos. And then there's also some Rosa paint. So I did use some Rosa paint in spots in here, like on the veins of the dragon, and I think her hair. So there is a little bit of paint, but it's a lot of layers and layers of pencil for the main image. And it's just because I really wanted to give it depth. I really wanted it to look realistic. But then I wanted her to stand out, so I gave her that crazy hair. And then this, the matte black on the shiny black on the matte black, is that beloved technique that I can no longer do. I have sad news. Sakura has discontinued their whole glaze pen line. I don't know why. I was suspicious because this is a matte black paint, and then this, or pen, something, and then this shiny stuff is the black glaze, which I use all the time, almost every page. And I've recently started using all the colors too, because they're great. But Sakura's discontinuing them. And now, a while back, I did the Mythographic page with the dragon that had this treatment, had a matte black with a glaze on top. And it was very, very effective in giving the illusion of lava or obsidian rock. And so I've been planning on using it in lots of pages. A subscriber reached out to me and said, how did you do that? And I told them what pens to buy. And they came back and said, I can't find those pens. I thought, that's weird. They're everywhere. So I started looking and started having a hard time finding them. And then I heard on Tiffany's coloring through it, Tiffany, on one of her videos, she said that they were discontinued, that they're no longer going to be selling the glaze pens. And I thought, no, she's got to be wrong. And I went on a crazy, mad, hours-long search, and they're nowhere. Even the used sites have sold out because everybody wants them now, and they're gone. I went to my secret stashes like Mary Artist and all these little local art stars. No, everybody's sold out, and they're gone. They're gone. No more glaze pens. And there is no other pen out there that does what those pens do. There's no dupes that work like glaze pens. I have no idea why they're discontinued. But I don't think I've been so sad about something being discontinued ever. I can't believe it. So all I have is what I have. It's not very much. And when it's gone, it's gone. So I don't know. Maybe black with some, you could put like some sort of clear medium over the top, like a glossy accent, or some sort of clear gel, something, nail polish, but they're, I don't know. I'm very, very sad. So sorry if you hadn't heard that already, I'm sorry. I was the bringer of bad tidings. But this is, so I'm really going to greatly enjoy that technique because this page and my Dragon Eye in Mythographic Dragon Spell will be the only pages I can do that on. So this is her. Again, this Anne Stokes, I had never even heard of her. Shame on me. And I'm just in love. The things you can do with, even with this thin paper. I use no alcohol markers at all. And this was mostly water mediums. And the paper took it well. It's not even that crinkly, which I'm not a fan of the crinkle. I know that's a lot of people like it, but I don't. But I thought I would have to iron it out when I was done, but I didn't. The paper really bounced back. So I hope you like this. This is one of my favorites this month. I like the green and the copper, and I'm going to use that combination again. All right. Now, we did the second installment of Fern Calloway's Fey Fantasy, a coloring adventure. This is a choose your own adventure. Remember? We did the very first page. Lots of fun. We did this one. And this is where Fern wakes up, says good morning to her Nana, and she's surrounded by all these stuffed, actually taxidermied stuffed animals. And then we were given choices. And we could eat our breakfast, which is whiskey and, what did she bring her? Milk and whiskey on the side. So she can either stay in bed and eat her breakfast, she can ask where Mr. is to go find Mr., or she can befriend the taxidermied animals. And I put it out there in a vote, and people voted on the YouTube video that I put out coloring this page, as well as on an Instagram post I made. And it was so close, so close. But between the two, the one that won by just a few was befriending the amazing taxidermied animals. So this is what we did in July. And in August, we went to that page. So it says, if we befriend the amazing taxidermied creatures, go to page 4. So it's a choose your own adventure. So we're on page 4, and I'm in the process of coloring this. It's not finished, and I am filming it. And when I do, so if you want to get ahead, I know a few people have sent me their finished pages of page 4, but that's the page we're on. And you don't have to color this book along with me. You can just have fun voting and choosing the next page and seeing what happens with Fern. So when I do when I finish this in the filming, we'll read what's happening to her, because she is visiting the animated taxidermied creatures, and we'll see. We have 2 choices, and so we'll make our choices then, and that will decide where we go next. So yeah, I'm making her purple this time. I'm changing her color up every time. I'm having fun. But yeah, this is started. It's 2/3 done. So I'll get it done and do the voiceover, and we'll release it this month. This is the next playlist that's being released. So it'll probably be released, this is by August 15th, it'll be out, I'm sure. All right, and then we'll have 10 days or so to vote for what we're going to do in September. So that, again, is from Critical Role. It's Fern Calloway's Fey Fantasy, a coloring adventure, a choose your own path. I love it. So much fun. All right. Okay. Do you guys remember when I hauled this? How excited I was. I got 2 of the, actually, it wasn't a haul. It was a video. It was titled something like The Best Harry Potter Coloring Books, because I went through a bunch of them and picked out ones that I thought were the most interesting, and I showed you the ones that I ended up getting. And there are 2 Funko Pop ones, and one is this one, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and the other one I think is just the official Funko Pop Harry Potter coloring book. They don't have repeats. They're different papers, different images, and I absolutely love them. I love them. So I immediately started on it, and I did this with a buddy, but my buddy hasn't sent me a finished page yet. But it is a double-page spread, and those take a while, right? So, and we were going to take 2 months, and I did not. I whipped it out because I was so excited. So the one we chose was this double-page spread. And of course it's Hagrid talking with Harry. They're looking through a photo album, which looks like it's got images of him and his parents. Photo album right there. And they're near the Hogwarts train. Now, I can't tell you how much fun this was. I loved every bit of it, and it went so fast. I used a lot of paint. Now, these are double-sided, so you can't use, you know, alcohol markers unless you want to ruin the page behind, which I don't, because I love every single page. In fact, looking at this makes me want to do another one for August here. It's just, they're so good. They're just so good. So I used Rosa paints, I believe. Let me look. No, I used Grabby paints. Now, the Grabby paints I really, really like. I usually have them sitting right here next to me. Yes, because I use them so much. These are them. I had the 50 set, and I liked them so much I went and got the 100 set. They are not expensive at all. The 100 set looks like this. It has both sides filled, where the 50 only has one. And the 100 has all these metallics, which are actually really, really good. All of these are metallics. And the pastels and neons, where the 50, I think, just has this. These metallics are great. They work really well. I use them a lot. And I use this paint set a lot. I'm getting close to pan in a couple things. I've said this before, that gouache is like if watercolor and acrylic had a baby. It's like right in between watercolor and acrylic. But if you took gouache and combined it again with watercolor, you'd have these Grabby paints. They're thick, but they are definitely watercolor. They don't behave like gouache. They behave like watercolor, but they're very pigmented and very opaque. And especially when you don't use much water. You can thin them out, but I like to use them with minimal water so that I can use them in any book. And this is the swatch for them. So I highly, highly recommend these for budget paints. They are really affordable. And look at those metallics. They're so pretty. And I just love them. I use them more than any other paint set I have, even my more expensive ones, which I think my most expensive paint set is a Rosa paint set, which isn't top of the line, but I'm not at the level to use top of the line paints. So I love these Grabbies. And everything has got the Grabby. This metallic, the wheels are metallic. That's metallics. That's one of the metallics in there that I love. I think it's called Pewter. It's one that I really love. I was able to get this lovely, warm, sunshiny gradient by using the watercolors. And then where I felt like I couldn't use the watercolors, I wanted something maybe a little more delicate, I used Derwent Color Softs and Chroma Flows, mostly because I was trying to figure out what the difference between the two are. I have several small sets of every line of Derwent that I've bought used, trying to find what I like the best. I love the Color Softs, but I'm not really sure what the difference is between Color Softs and Chroma Flows, so I sort of interchanged them. That's a jack hair. I sort of interchanged them around wherever I needed pencil, which was, I did pencil facing. Their faces are pencil, their skin it's pencil. I still don't know the difference. There's pencil around that is on top of the paint. There's some shimmery too there, and that's the Grabby paint. It's just basically all paint with some pencil on top. Did I even put any pencil in here, or is this all? I think this is just all paint. Yeah. And some of the glittery has kind of traveled, but I'm not upset with that at all. So I really love how this turned out. I'm often, the first page in a new book is not great. I usually don't get the feel of a book until the third or fourth page, but I really enjoyed this so much. And I just had fun making light happen. And light happening is just using a lighter color. So these ochres, I started light and blended all the way down to a dark. And his beard has a lighter brown in here and then goes to darker browns on the outside and things like that. That's just how you add some light and it adds dimension. And I really, really loved it. I had a blast doing these 2 pages. So I look forward to seeing my buddies whenever. And I look forward to doing another page out of these books. Probably the other one. So since that one's untouched, this is the only one of all 4 of those books other than the color by number that I've colored in, so I'll probably will jump to the other Funko book next. But these Funko books are a blast. So much fun. All right. All right, let's look at this amazing book by Toshiyuki Fukuda. This is the Woodland Kingdom coloring book. And I love this book so much. It's crazy and I love it. And Christina's Art Corner has a group for this book, and it's growing a lot. So I won't be able to show you all the completed pages for this month, but you'll see them probably on Instagram. And if you'd like to join the group, if you have this book or are planning on getting it, just get a hold of Christina. We do a page every month. So we did this double page spread, and if I remember, we chose to do this over 2 months because it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Now, the thing about Toshiyuki, he does, his drawing style is very odd. It's like hand drawn, but it's scraggly. It's like jagged, and it's very busy and very fun. But there are tough pages mixed in with easy pages, and they're single-sided, which is why this book is so chonky, which I love. They're single-sided, so you can use alcohol markers if you want. I tend not to, and I don't know why, but I tend to use paint in this book. It's got great paper, and it can handle paint. The other thing that's cool about Toshiyuki is he hides animals. He hides elements, and you have to kind of find them. So I'm still getting used to this book. Most of my pages are like this, kind of a chaos of colors. But I'm starting to try to like come up with some fun ideas. Like, do I do it all monochrome and then make the animals stand out brightly? Or like black and white, or make the animals black and white and all the foliage colored or something, just do fun stuff. Here, I did the animals rather realistic, except for the bright pink bunny. A lot of us did the bunny differently than everything else, and I'm not sure why, but I just fell in love with him because he's so grumpy. He grumpy bunny, so I made him pink and gold. But there's an owl there, and I interspersed shiny markers in here. The rest of it is, which paint did I use? I'll have to look that up. I didn't have the page in front of me because I was going to show you a different page. But I got excited about this one, so hold on. This is... Why is it so hard? I haven't been very organized lately, and I'm getting there. I've changed some things up, so August is going to be more organized. I can't find it, but I'm pretty sure it's gravy. I did the gravy watercolors again. Yeah, this is all gravy. I took this to work in that palette, that Gravy 100 palette, and just did it because it has metallics in there. So I just used the metallics that are already in there, and everything was done with that. It has some beautiful yellows, so I made the background yellow on this one. There's the deer, and there's I think it's supposed to be a peacock, but I put it in neutral colors because I was having fun with the browns. There's a funny colored squirrel, and the rabbit. Oh, and there's a monkey hiding. I made him with gold accents. That's all on this page. And then on this page has a bear and another squirrel, which I did differently. Some sort of dove or pheasant type thing. A horse. Sorry, I bumped you. And I think this is a fox and a snake. A lot of fun. Christina decided that these were spider webs, and I love that idea, so I did them in a shiny silver. I don't know what these cherry things are hanging, but maybe they're cherries. His drawings are very graphic and suggestive. Nothing is realistic. It's all sort of through the lens of being flat and art, and so everything is patterns and designs, and I love it because anything goes. You can do any color whatsoever. So I do. I start with one element, and I just I really was going to keep to the same 6 colors or so, but I didn't. This showed up and this showed up, and it just happens. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, so this book is great. like I say, any medium works on it. You can use anything. Our next page for August is this one. And I believe they're not giving us 2 months to do it. It's a 1 month page. But, and for this much expanse, I think I'm going to use a gel stick of some sort. Tim Holtz gel crayons or the King Art gel sticks, because they blend really well and it'll make the sky really nice. I haven't decided what time of day to make it yet. These small spaces, if you choose to color them all in, those Languid gel pens, primo. This is all gel pen stuff. In fact, most of this will be gel pens, I'm sure. Yeah. And then I might use some pencil on them. Or maybe I'll bust out my alcohol markers. I have no idea why I haven't used alcohol markers yet in this book. It's the perfect book for it. The paper is smooth with a little bit of tooth. But anything works. A lot of people are using water-based markers. Anything works. I've just used paint on almost everything. This is when I started using some watercolor pencils. That was before I joined the group. And then ones for the group, again, this was paint. This one was a lot of fun. And then I did this one to test things out. This is the first page with the story of it. And this is mostly paint and some sort of a pastel, like an oil pastel or something there maybe. If it is, I did a good job with it. I'm not very good with oil pastels. The rest is paints and Languid gel markers and stuff like that. So fun book. And this is August page. Yeah, if you're interested, it's a really great group of folks. And just get a hold of Christina's Art Corner and she can let you in. Okay, I'll put my chicken, I'm using a chicken and a pig. Chicken and a pig. We'll go in there. So I'll work on it this month. Now, I have my favorite color by number, which is the Disney Villains. Thunder Bay Press does the best color by numbers. They're very thick. They are single-sided, so you can use alcohol markers. Lots of fun, and I love this one. Now, I was watching someone who just got it. I thought it was Tiffany, but it might not be Tiffany. I can't remember. And they colored a page in it, and they didn't really like the coloring. And I just want to say, I thought it was awesome. I thought it was great. And it's exactly what color by number is. It's just relaxing. It's not masterpieces. But and Thunder Bay Press has others. They have the Harry Potter one, which I just recently got and did a page last month out of. And they have, I think they have a Golden Girls one. And I know there's another one. But the paper is so good. I just love Thunder Bay Press. And what I've done with these, as many of you know, is often I would just have extra acrylic paint from another paper, from something else I was doing, and acrylic paint doesn't keep very well. So I'd come in here and do a spot. This was one I finished recently. But I'll come in here and just do a little bit and use up the rest of that acrylic paint. So I have lots and lots of whips that are sort of purposeful whips in here. When I just had like extra black, or I had some extra brown of something, and I just come in here and do these. This was a green, but I realized it was the wrong green, and then these were extras. And so I decided that I need to start finishing these whips. So I went to my very last, this King Candy, he was a lot of different acrylics that were running out. So I went to my very last completed one, which is Isme. And what I like to do when I'm done with them is I find a patterned paper, because the back side is often messy because I'm not a clean colorist and things bleed through. And so I get a patterned paper from my many paper pads that I don't use. And I find something that matches the drawing in some way. And I glue it on here. And then it's becoming like a book I really love flipping through. So that's fun. So I decided I'd go from my last one and the first one. So Isme's basically the last completed one, to the front of the book and finish those. Any that are in there that are whips. So I flipped through and I saw, like, this is one that's on my radar to finish. I've only done the black. Here's one that needs to be finished. Probably gone over. It's a mess. Here's one. Now this one I found this and I thought, oh, that's so cool and will give me an idea for the brick. So I went ahead and glued it on. because I want to do the bricks like that. And it'll be like the wall extends. I think it'll be really fun. Here's one I finished, Meta Mim. This on purpose was messy like this. It was done with acrylic brush pens. There's one that's finished. Here's one that's finished. And adding this extra paper makes the pages so thick, and I love turning them. Finished. Not finished. So here's another one that's on my radar to do. Here's another one that I started working on the other night. See how messy I get? So I just put paper over that. This is a quote from Hades, and I was using... I was excited about this paint. Can't remember what it was right now. But this is the one I completed. This one wasn't finished yet. It just had some leftover stuff on it. So I did it and then found a page that I liked with it. And so this one is completed, and it's Hades. Yeah, it's a lot of different paints. It's a lot of paint and paint pens. And I can't even tell you what it is because I've worked on it over months. But the end lingual gel pens. But I really enjoy it. This book is so much fun. And it's a project book for me. It's probably the only one I have. And it never was meant to be. It was just for fun. But I just kept going. Kept going. Some of them... I like to paint around the edges, and so on some of them where I haven't, if they're messy, I might go back in, or use my Panda Fly white pen and just go over the messes, because that's a great pen. Now, the person I saw who had just got the book did this one, and I thought it was fantastic. I don't know why they didn't like it. This is one of my favorite pages in the book. I thought this was a lot of fun. This was one of the first ones I did. Just messing around. And I think this page was when I decided I wanted to do the paper on the back. So won't this be fun when it's all done? There's a lot. And this was the very first page in the book. So that's my Disney villains, my favorite color by number. And in fact, it's really late right now, but I'm tempted to, before I go to bed, work on one of these. This one... I was using paint because that's what I had with me, but it really needs a paint pen. Paint was messy. A pen would be so much faster. Maybe I'll get the Thule arts out and finish it. And this guy, he's close to being finished. Now, I think he might have some pencil in him, too. If you can hear snoring, that's you know who. That's Jack having a good sleep. All right, what did I do next? All right. The Lost Forest. This is Ghost Shrimp. I love this book, and it's like aliens from front to back. So it's perfect for Space Timber. It's kind of an obvious choice for Space Timber, but why not? We chose, there were three of us. My friend Shannon at Shannon 1981, my dear friend, and my dear friend Paula at Coloring Mum. We decided we all three wanted to work out of this book. And we chose... what I am calling the Wendigo page. Only because, I don't know, I want everything to be a Wendigo. This is the page that I did. I used probably all alcohol markers mostly. Oh, no, just down here in the grass. What did I do for the sky? Let me look it up. I didn't have it pulled up here. See if I wrote it in there. Hopefully I did. Sorry, I thought I was totally ready for this one. Yes. Oh, yeah. I used acrylic markers. So this black was acrylic markers. This is alcohol markers. There is some acrylic Languo markers in here. And then what I had a lot of fun with was using Koh-i-Noor woodless pencils. I love those pencils. And in a Coloring in the Cabin, you saw me working on his, I almost said feathers, his branches with those Koh-i-Noor pencils. Those pencils are fantastic. I've been finding them used. And I have gotten some backups because there's really only 24 colors, I think. And I think they're fantastic. I love the way they sharpen. I love the way they feel. I love the way they go down. So he's got there's a lot of pencil work in here, but the rest of it is acrylic and paint. And I believe this is the pencils as well. So this was really fun. Of course, I made mine nighttime because I thought with the fire and stuff, and it's almost like, he's got this this laptop with a cracked screen, and he's eating some soup, which I made green. It's got green soup coming out, and they're listening to the Wendigo tell stories is what I'm thinking this is. But I really had a good time with this page, and it was so fun doing it with my buddies. So let's look at Shannon's. Now, Shannon did hers. Her ghosts I fell in love with, and I was kind of blown away with them because they really, really look like ghosts. It's like she did the sky and then did sort of a light wash of some sort of a white or gray over the top of it. I thought they were just brilliant. And with their blue eyes, I don't know, something about it's pretty creepy for me. And the other thing I really loved about hers was the coloring of the creatures that are sitting around the fire. They've got something about it seems very tribal to me, the colors she chose. I can't put my finger on what it is or even on what tribal, almost aboriginal. But I really, really liked hers. I thought it was fantastic. So Shannon, thank you so much for coloring with me on this. I thought it was just really a lot of fun. And then the next one, the other one that was in this group is Paula. So Paula, she loves to do spooky pages with me. And she made that red splotchy, splattery stuff in the background is like chanting. It's like words in a made-up language. And it's like if the red-eyed ghosts were chanting. It's very creepy. It definitely looks like writing to me. And I don't know if I'd figure out if it was chanting or not. Probably, if I hadn't been told. But just the idea that these words are floating around them. Yeah, definitely chanting and definitely creepy. And then her, I love the color of her Wendigo, the blues and the greens. I thought, and the blue, green, and the greens, I think are just beautiful with the dark, dark branches. Really a successful page. The fire is gorgeous. Just everything about this page is wonderful. And I love the added touch of that bloody looking chanting words. So thank you, Paula, for doing another spoopy page with me. These pages are so much fun, and this book is so much fun. I've done a few now out of this book, and all but one have been buddies. So I know several of you have this book. I'd be up for one in Space Timber. This was one I did, I can't remember if this one was a buddy or not. That was definitely a buddy. It's just a really, really fun book. And Ghost Shrimp is coming out with his second book. So Ghost Shrimp is the artist behind Adventure Time, which if you look at this, like, oh yeah, that's totally Adventure Time. I love Adventure Time. So, I mean, like, doesn't that look like a character straight out of Adventure Time? So, I love that comic series, that animation series. And he's also got kind of a dark sense of humor. So, I can't wait for the second book, which will be an auto by Fosha. All right, so that is The Lost Forest. Okay, here's the other color by number I did this month. And it was a whip that I completed. I didn't actually do intentionally an Easter page in July, but I did have a whip in here. And I do have a pile of books that have my whips in it, and I'm just randomly grabbing them off the top of the stack a couple times a month. And I am really cutting down on the whips. So this is one of the Circularism books. This is one of the prettier ones that I have. The colors he uses and he calls for in this book are really gorgeous. So I did this one with acrylic markers. This one was done with water-based markers, but I could see the numbers in between in them, and I didn't like it, so I think I went back to acrylic after this. Yeah, went back to acrylic. So this is one that I've done. See how pretty the colors are? And this is on the premium paper, which is the only way to get these books. Otherwise, you have that awful newsprint paper that's just terrible. This is another one I did not too long ago with more these almost look like Language gel pens, so it might have been when after I got the Languos. And this is the one I did this month. And yes, that white was supposed to be white. Every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, I didn't finish, but that was supposed to be white. So I did, for one of the browns, like this one was like medium brown or something it called for, and I switched it to gold because I kind of wanted a gold squirrel. And, you know, it's my book. I can change colors if I want. And so this was done with acrylic pens again. I can tell that some of them were brush pens because I was having a hard time getting those to stay in the circles, and I switched to other kinds of pens. Touliard, Ohuhu, and Graby all have the nib pens that you have to shake and pump. That, across the board, the acrylic paint in those pens is better because to put it in a brush pen, you have to water down the paint some. It has to be thinner to be able to go through a brush. So that paint is always more transparent. So I use the brush pens when I want a more painterly look, but otherwise I actually prefer the nibbed pens to get a nice solid opaque color and use them everywhere I can. So that's just it, just a little squirrel. I don't know if I like the gold or not, but it was fun to make him shiny. And this is just a fun book. The next one is the egg. I tend to do these in order, but I love doing this one outside of Easter time just because the colors are so good in this book. So that's one of my Circularism books. Okay, the only mythographic for the month I did, and I'm almost got a page done in every single mythographic I own. I think Dream Garden is the only one left that doesn't have a page. All my mythogorias are colored in multiple times, but the mythographics, I have so many more of those. I need to go through them. And maybe I'll do that with you so that we can log them, make sure they're in my inventory, and find out which one of those is still untouched so that I can schedule time to do it. Not for Space Timber, unless it just happens to work out that way. Space Timber is just all about space. But Enchanted Castles I've never colored in. Now this is a Fabiana Attanasio one where the hidden objects are horrific. There are so many. So a lot of people are turned off by this book because of that. And, you know, there are a bunch of castles, so maybe it's just not worth it to deal with the hidden objects. But a lot of people, this is not their favorite book. But I wanted to do it, and I had a buddy. So my buddy was Becky Hicks. And let's look at hers. So Becky did this with the beautiful purple flowers. We were trying to decide, this was a hard one to figure out what to do with the hair, and I think both of us kind of looked at it like sand maybe, or some sort of earth type, because it flows over the buildings and goes to the floor, it goes to the patio, and I mean, neither one of us chose to do it as water, which it could have been water as well, could just be hair, but I think we both kind of did it like a sand color. And then she did the really, I love the sketchy look of the flowers. I don't know how to do that kind of a look. I think it's a really cool look. It's intentionally made to look kind of like a sketch book, or kind of like it's drawn, but yet she's coloring on top of an already drawn image. How did she do that? I don't know. How did she make it look so intentional like that? I think it's fantastic. I also can't see the hidden objects in hers, and I'm not sure how she covered them up. I need to ask her. But yeah, I think it's really a really cool effect. It very much looks like it's her drawing. It looks like a piece of art, and I think that's super cool. So Becky, great job on that. That was a lot of fun. All right, and then what I did was used a bookmark. Is I did this. Now, I kind of got away from the sand look a little bit. I meant to make it look like sand. But then I sort of, instead of getting all wrapped up with it being a desert castle in the sand, I got kind of wrapped up in the color of this yellowy orange and just sort of wanted to make kind of a study on this color. And so I made it very minimal colors. I used the same Language gel pens all in here for the castle, And then her hair is done in pencil because I really wanted to have the ultimate control over that hair. And so I use, I'm pretty sure that's Polychromos, yeah. Polychromos. There is some alcohol marker in here. There were a lot of hidden objects sticking out into the sky, so I chose to use acrylic paint, actual acrylic paint. So I used acrylic paint called, I want to say tangerine. I don't think that's it, but it's like that. It was an apple barrel acrylic paint, which is my favorite. And then what was done in alcohol markers? Oh, just the base of her hair, because that is a lot of pencils. So I did the base of her hair, this light yellow alcohol markers, and then the pencil shading on top. But that was it. Everything else is acrylic markers or acrylic paint, because there's a lot, like I said, there is a lot of hidden objects in here. And the only thing that really covers those is acrylic. So I chose to use acrylic for the whole page. And actually, I like it. I might choose to do that for this book. I tend to not use, all acrylic for the entire page in a mytho book. But there's just so many hidden objects in this thing, and I hate them. And then I did there's some gold, some super gold mark. No, that's not super gold. That looks like the Stettler gold. What is that? I just wrote glitter gel pens, but that looks like the Stettler glitter gel pens, which were a gracious gift. And yeah, she's, I think her skin is all polychromos. There's no alcohol marker on her skin. I just really wanted to make it look very golden and orange, and it was more about the color than the page for me, just seeing how far I can push this color scheme. And I really liked it. I like the way it turned out. So it makes me want to color more in this book. If I use this book like that, like a study on color, and the acrylic covers those obnoxious hidden objects, I might actually really enjoy this book. Because this was the other one we thought about doing, and I really want to do it. And there are, just because this hidden guy, there's a hidden face inside in this tree, and this crazy tree with this house in it, and then the little fairy. I love it. But there is a bazillion hidden objects in here. So again, this will probably be acrylic. Some of the hidden objects work, but Joseph, he tried to make his hidden objects work with the page, so in case you couldn't cover them up, but hers don't. I mean, that's an 8-ball and an oven mitt. I mean, unless I use acrylic, I don't know how to cover these. This is another one I really, really like. Really, really like. Yeah. So I'm excited to work it out of here more. That's how I'm going to approach this book. And so that's the Mythographic Enchanted Castles by Fabiana Attanasio. Thank you, Peggy, for doing this with me. Okay, another small group that I have is Yoga Animals So Cute. I did this with a buddy, and then we liked it so much we decided to continue going every month, and then more people joined, and now we have a few people in there. This book is phenomenal. The paper's great. It's single-sided. It's so cute. It's by Kimma Parrish, and her artwork is fantastic. So this is what we did. We did the Frenchie this month. And yes, I was still in my acrylic pen phase, so this is almost all acrylic pens, really, it is. I think this is a gravy watercolor, this yellow is, and she is done in pencil. I have some pencils that I did with her. It looks like the Faber-Castell metallic. I think I even did her metallic. But all this is done in acrylic. I'm still finding my way with this book, and so far I've just been having fun with acrylics with this. But I'll show you the one we're working on this month. I am using other things. So here's what we did. Super duper fun, super fun. This book we've done. Let's see, we've done the rabbit so far, and then this one. That's all we've done so far. The group just started. So yeah, if you have this book and are interested, these pages are just a lot of, they're very intricate. They're very detailed. I mean, there's a lot well, there isn't much to that one, but there's a lot to these. But they're fun. They usually have the animal kind of central, and then everything around it has to do with the animal. So, for example, this is a manatee, and then you've got the flamingos and everything that has to do with Florida. Here's an alpaca, and then you've got like Indian castles and, you know, everything. The Tibetan castles and things. Here's some jungle critters. There's an elephant, and then it's got the jungle that the elephant lives in around it. So really neat. So I'm not sure why ice cream's associated with Frenchies, but there you go. This little bulldog is adorable. And that was a lot of ice cream. I was kind of done coloring ice cream by the time this was done. All of us were. We're like, that's enough ice cream. So let's look at my buddies. So first we have Christine's from CJ Color. Isn't hers cool? Now, she did that metallic center, and I think I'm going to have to copy that in a future page in this, because that metallic center works really, really well. And then her French Bulldog, I love her colors so much. The gray with that beautiful salmony pink color on the inside of the ears. Just a really successful, fun page. She's got more metallic watercolor in the outside, and just really fun and beautiful. These pages lend themselves to bright, beautiful colors, don't they? I mean, it's almost like you have to paint them in bright or color them in bright, beautiful colors. Otherwise, you'll get a ticket of some sort, a painting ticket. Then let's look at my dear friend Paula from Coloring Mum. She did hers. Now, I know I might have been influenced by that yellow, because I chose that same shade of yellow for the interior, the center of mine. She did it in the exterior, and her strawberries she made chocolate covered. I did sort of a white chocolate because I just had, white was just an easier choice before, instead of me trying to find the right brown. I went easy, lazy on this page. She did these chocolate covered strawberries that look delicious. She did her ice cream, all different flavors. And her little Frenchie's a brown Frenchie with the bright pink. And it's just so cute. The whole page is just so much fun. It makes me really happy with that bright, cheery yellow background. And then all the different colors of ice cream. I tell you, coloring on this page made me want ice cream, made me crave ice cream every time I worked on it. Oh, so fun. And then we had, I think those are the only two that, we're the only ones that finished the Frenchies. Yeah, there were some that worked on some past months, but those were the only other folks who did the Frenchies. So a lot of fun. And let me show you next month's. The next month's, in case you want to join, just get hold of me and I can get you in there. Next month's, and I'm well into it, is this Panda Bear. Now, I'm trying something different and I'm really liking it. There's still acrylic in here, but there's also paint, watercolor paint, which is helping me do a lot better blending. And it's the gravy paint again. And I'm doing a lot of blending with it, but I've also got languos and, metallic stuff. I'm not crazy about this orange here, so I'm going to be going over it with a more rust colored. I'm going to try to keep myself contained on these colors, but I'm really enjoying it. And this so far is turning out to be my favorite one so far. I'm just figuring out how to be a little bit more subtle with my mediums and add some shading in there and make it pretty. And so we're doing the Panda this month. If you want to join in, let me know. And that is Yoga Animals So Cute by Kimma Parrish, one of my very favorite books. All right, I only have one more colored page and then my sticker story and we're done. This was part of a gift from Tammy Colors too. She gifted me a whole bunch of books and this was in there. And I love this special. So I went to the back to an artist, to an artist I've never seen before. And that's Yuriko Shirou. I don't know why I've never seen this artist before, because after researching the artist, they're very well known. And they have a whole coloring book. And where have I been? Under some rock. I did this all in alcohol markers. Yuriko's, I believe it's she, art style is very sketchy. And, oh, wow, I put a page behind it, but it looks like something's bled through. That's okay. But very sketchy, very just moody type artwork. I love it. So I did this creature. I experimented a lot with this. I blended colors that I normally wouldn't blend, like a brown gray and a light brown together to make it kind of dingy looking. And her skin, there's a lot of gray in there as well as this peach. And just kind of really experimented with colors to get what I wanted. And I was determined to just do it all in alcohol markers. Now, I think it looks like I might have added some pencil here. No, I think that's the shading. I think that's Yuriko's shading coming through. So really, I did just use alcohol markers on this, so it went pretty quickly. And alcohol markers are my favorite medium, so I have fun with them, especially when I get to use them in a fancy page like this and do a lot of shading and such. I think she's really cool. And just kind of sad and beautiful. So yeah, that's this one, my first one in this book. And this book has, not only has Yuriko, has Matthew Larson, who's big on zombies. And then here's Yuriko, who has a big section. I love that. All Yuriko. I could do all those. Then we have Simona Candini, who I've never heard of, but her little chibi girl is really awesome. They're great. I love them. I don't know if you can get this, like maybe through, and now we all know Jen Katz. This is Jen Katz. She does the cutest Halloween stuff. I have a bit of her work from her Etsy shop. She's fantastic. I have a whip of one of these that is so old. I need to finish it. Yeah, Jen Katz is phenomenal. And this is Dawn Davidson, who I'm not sure I know who she is, but her stuff reminds me a lot of Raina Art Prints. I like them a lot. And then Yana Prosperina. I think that's all who's in here. Yep. And it's a great special. This is issue 66, so this is an older one. Wow, I bet you can't get this. If you're looking for back issues and you can't find them on their website, go to their Etsy site and see if they've got them on PDF. I've picked up a few on there on PDF. Okay, my very, very last thing I did. Wasn't the last thing I did of the month, but it's the last thing I have to show you for July. And in one of my coloring in the evening videos, I showed you that or maybe it was the Temu haul video. Yes, it was the Temu haul video. And I showed you I got this book and that I had outfitted it with some stickers. And that one's a Gothic book and some more Gothic books. I got these stickers off of Temu. This is some pattern paper I had and some paper I had. And I made myself a book. Now this is going to be the table of contents, and I put a couple of my finished ones in here. So this is the one that I did in July. Loco Home Party, it's called. This is a Deco Pack series is the name of them, and I get these off of Temu. They're too expensive off Amazon. They're super cheap off Temu. So, and this was one of the easier ones that has less stickers and is easier to do, and it doesn't have there is a small little tiny thumbnail of a finished page, but they leave it up to you to put, and I wasn't sure I would like that. I kind of like having the image and trying to copy that, because when there's a lot of stickers, you don't know what all of them are. But this one doesn't have as many stickers. It's simpler. And it was fun putting things where I wanted to put them and not following a template. So this was a fun one to do. I really enjoyed it. It was quick and easy. The other one I put in here, and I show that I've got that one on page 1, and then this other one's on page 3, because I didn't want, this is open for another small one, because this one's slightly oversized, and it goes this way. And I didn't want this part, the back, to be hanging over from the front, so you can see it. At least it looks prettier when it's hanging over. I might regret making my sticker storybook out of this small pack and not a bigger one, because I do have quite a few bigger ones, but I may just have to make a second book. out of these bigger ones, because this is the one, I don't know if you've seen this one. It goes like that, actually. It's a bunch of funny pink bunnies. I did this in May, so I probably showed it. Summertime fun. Now this one had a template to follow because these are very intricate and very complicated. I have tons of these that I do. I filmed them while I'm doing them, and I save the footage just in case I want to like read a story to you, which is kind of my plan, is to be doing one of these and then voice over a nice story for you to listen to while you're coloring. If you like that idea, let me know, because you don't have to watch this, but it just gives something on the screen. And if you're using my stories to fall asleep to, you can just put your screen face down and not look at it. So hopefully it'll fit for folks who are awake and coloring and those who are also sleeping. So I'm looking forward to it. I've got the pages numbered up to a bit, and I'm going to put my sticker stories in here. Thank you, the person who gave this idea to me, because it'll be so fun to flip through them rather than have them in folders or stashed away somewhere. They become like a book. So I love it. I got to find my others and stick them in there. That's it. That's all. It was a lot, wasn't it? Thank you all. Thank you, my buddies. Thank you for sticking around and watching this video. That's the best way to support me. The longer you watch the video, the more the video gets bumped up in algorithms and the more people end up watching it. And then I make a few pennies off of the ads. And that helps keep me going. So thank you so much. And I will see you in the very next video. Love you. Bye-bye.